Nigeria, the giant of Africa. It's our food, it's our community, it's our culture, it's our music. But what happens when you leave all you know for an unfamiliar place?
It was weird.
Yeah, I cried.
It was hard. It was the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. I'm a mother of four beautiful children. I'm a journalist. I just had my master's degree in journalism from the University of Regina. I moved in 2021, September 2021.
And what made you move to Canada? Why did you move?
I wanted to study, I have a background in law and have practiced journalism for 10 years before I arrived Canada, and I wanted to get a master's degree in journalism to just, give myself some knowledge base on the career I'd chosen for myself.
I am a student here at the University of Regina. My favorite meal, I think I like fried rice most. Jollof rice is also nice. I had finished my international baccalaureate, which is like advanced levels, and the next step is university. So I was just looking to find good education, and Canada came into the picture.
I got to Canada, I think 2014, spring and summer. I've been in Canada for a long time. My sister knew someone who won, I think, a study lottery that at around like maybe 2013, 2012. So the agency who helped her, she was like, oh, you could tell during morning devotion. My dad came and, oh, what about Shay moving to America?
Life here is I don't want to say it's a loner system, right? It's because it was new for me. I didn't know anyone when I came. So I remember renting an apartment, and I bought a duvet at Superstore, and I slept on the floor because I didn't have a bed at that time when I first arrived. And I remember thinking, who would I talk to? Who would be my friend? Who would I, it was lonely. It was very lonely. It was extremely lonely. The loneliness cannot be quantified, right? I remember for the first time in about 3 months, I heard somebody play music in my house then, and I screamed like, oh my God, there's life here, right? So it was very, it's not the same. It's not the same.
I come from a family of 5. I'm the second of 3 girls. Not very loud. I think that's what has also influenced my character. And we left Nigeria when I was 6. I remember I grew up in South Africa, then moved briefly to Malawi before I finally came here. So I think even moving between different countries, that also cause us to be closer to one another, because at the end of the day, when you shift or when you move, family is kind of all you got.
It was weird. It was very weird. I think also coming here, my responsibility senses had to be heightened unknowingly to me. Decisions were made for me at home. Here I had to make decisions. I had to, okay, you represent people at home, so anything you do here is going to matter at home. So what are you doing?
I I came here having to do like quarantine here on campus for the first 2 weeks. So like even though I had my sister here, she wasn't with me. Like I was all alone for the first 2 weeks in Canada, and that was honestly an experience. Like I still think about that time sometimes. I'm just like, wow, I feel like it was like a reality check, you know, like, okay, I'm here. I had to like, you know, make my parents proud at school, but I also have to like be my own person. So yeah, I cried. I cried sometimes because I really missed home.
I had just had a baby. I left him at 2 months, Nathan, and it was a very big decision for me to make. I looked at him. I remember the day I was leaving and I was crying profusely because I didn't know if this was the right decision to make. But I had gotten a scholarship. I had lost it the first year I got it, and I was worried that if I don't go again at this time, I would lose it the second time. So I didn't want to lose the scholarship. I didn't want to lose the opportunity. The first time I didn't get the visa. The second time I got a visa and I had a baby. So it was a tough one. It was tough.
You hear stories about kids leaving home. It's a lot of stress on the parents, a lot of stress on the person, because you don't really know yourself. Nigeria, everybody does. They pick everything for you. Okay, your classes, and also when you're taking classes in Nigeria, you're taking 16 subjects in SS2. You're like, oh, and it's not that intense, but it looks intense there. When you come here, you're taking 4 classes or 3 classes. It is much more complicated and much more intensive than that.
Another thing that came as a shocker for me, although not really cultural, just more like environmental, was like the cold. Oh my gosh. I never expected that.
The weather, oh Jesus, that's you can't say so much more than the weather is just totally different.
Woo! Jesus Christ.
While we're at minus something here, we've never heard anything like minus in Nigeria, right?
It's the thick of winter, because I came in January, like just a few days after the new year, and there was just white everywhere, ice, snow. I don't think I was depressed as such, but I really remember being sad many times. Like I said, I cried. But then again, I cry about a lot of things. So, but yeah, I cry.
They gave me food to eat. They took me to Thai Express. I hated the food. I'm like, no, I'll go sleep. Like, I think I didn't eat for like a few days because I didn't understand. There was pineapple in food. I'm like, why are we doing pineapple? Now I eat it like no man's business. But pineapple, I'm like, what are we doing here?
Another difference is food. Food is a big difference. Oh, I miss the food that we eat in Nigeria, right? We have we have what they call swallow, right? Which is, you don't get that here. We eat a lot more of carbohydrates and they eat a lot more of proteins, right? And so
part of the things I was looking forward to coming into Canada was like getting to meet new people, getting to interact with other Nigerians, like, because again, I had grown up away from Nigeria, so I didn't really like have the Nigerian kind of community. Like, yeah, there were Nigerians where I grew up, but it wasn't like a very huge community. So I was really looking forward to like making friends and all, but I didn't find that. So that was part of the things that contributed to me not being so happy.
The biggest thing for me has been starting all over. I was at the how do I put it, mid-career level, or is it mid-management, or I don't know the word that is used now. I've been in the industry for 10 years, 12 years I would say. And when I got here, I had to start all over. I had to start from like I was fresh as a journalist. That's the biggest thing for me. And it's understandable because the system is different. The way we write our stories in Nigeria is different from how they write here. I remember spending about $35,000 for my education, right? And I sit down and I think, how long is it going to take me to recoup $35,000 if I continue to work in this system?
I've been in church for close to, I think, 9 years now. And it's been a journey. I like, also, I had to grow a lot. Like, for sure, I was naive at 18, 19. I had to do my own growing and getting myself in order. But the church actually helped a lot. It was more of a community. Like, you saw students of your own age. They had, like, tutorials. Like, so if you're taking classes, it's free. So if you're taking classes and you don't understand what they're teaching you, there's like a tutorial that's already made up in the church. It wasn't like they left you high and dry. Sometimes they give you like food, all those stuff. Like, it was really nice to just have that community.
I'm a person of faith, so a lot of times I just prayed and I prayed and I prayed to God for help, and I believe that He really did come through for me. I would also call my parents. I was speaking to my mom like every day. Every day for as long as I needed it. I think it's for as long as I needed it. I began to do a lot of things that I had liked even growing up. So I told you we moved to Malawi, and I was there for about a year, and I have an artistic side. So I used to like drawing and stuff growing up, but I remember in Malawi that wasn't something that I did very much, and that was also because there was like there was a very limited access to certain art tools, so I just didn't do a lot of art stuff. But coming back into Canada, like my sister, like when we'd go like grocery shopping or something, she would make sure like we stop by the art section in some stores, and I got like pencils, colors, stuff like that, and I just began to like do art, draw again. I think that was also one of the things that made me happy.
I decided that it was time to go to my home church, or a church that had my background, because it took me back home. It put me back in that. It made me feel like I was back in Nigeria. There is a need to still be around people that share in your like minds, and church was that place for me. And I also made sure that I made friends that understood, where we're coming from, and keeps us, we remind ourselves, like today we had a hangout, and we had, where we talked about Nigeria, where we talked about food, where we talked about a lot of things. And so keeping close connections with people that share your like minds is some of the things that I've done.
Come with a mind that you're ready to learn. Like, everything you know about what Canada would be like is going to shake everything in you. So you have to be ready to blend, and don't blend to the point that you're losing yourself in the process.
But yeah, I would have definitely chosen Canada just because I really do think that this is where I need to be at the moment. I would like to go to Nigeria, visit, but I think Canada is part of the bigger picture for me, so it's not impossible. It won't be like the easiest thing. It won't be everything they expected, and it won't be a breeze, but it's also not impossible.
I tell myself every day that it's worth it. I believe it's worth it, because the journey in itself is not for me. I'm not doing this journey. I had a good life in Nigeria. I was comfortable, very comfortable, right? I didn't leave because I needed a better life, right? But I wanted my kids to see something different, right? And I believe that what I'm doing right now is for them.
think I'll have to paddle? Take me to the dance floor that I've never seen. Thought you could have it first. Don't you think you'll get ahead?